this. Thank you so much for, you know, aligning with your spirit and this video, resonating with this title of the video. And as you can tell, we're going in. Okay. So I want to talk about that inner flame, that inner, warmth, right? And the more I learn about, traditional Chinese medicine and um, it just all makes sense. Okay. For instance, I will, tell you about the story. I'll tell you the story about my experience with my very first Temazcal. So, my very first Temazcal, I thought I was going to die. I thought it was going to be hot and dry. I stayed close to the door. To the opening, I was just like, nah, I can't do this, just in case, but I really wanted to experience the benefits, even though like I had a little bit of fear and excitement, because this was something very new to me. So I went there with women, my neighbors, and all of that. And it was very beautiful. It was a very beautiful experience going into the grand womb, the grand mother, the complete darkness of the womb, being the light in there and just feeling that inner flame. So I will tell you, once I got in there, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this gonna be like? And then um, the ceremony began, they started bringing in the hot rocks, um, you know, putting the herbs on the hot rocks, the sound and splash of the waters on the rocks, um, you know, brought out the steam and also the smell of the herbs, like lavender, chamomile. I don't know what they used, but it was sweet. It was beautiful. It was everything that, like a woman needed, being surrounded by women, the sweet smell, aroma of the herbs and plants that were being used, and the warmth. All right. So this is where I started getting warm, and I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna die from heat? And just, I thought maybe I couldn't breathe or something, but um, the heat rose and, you know, enveloped us, and it was beautiful. I did not die, as you can tell. And um, I started feeling warm outside of my body. And then I started to feel the coldness inside of me. So cold. I can feel the cold mucus. I can feel my cold organs. I'm like, damn, I need a yoni steam. I need to get closer to that steam. Right? It was so revealing for me just how like this ancient knowledge, this ancient wisdom of using that cosmic element to feed our cosmic body, which also nourishes our cosmic self, and cells. But not only that, but I truly understood, you know, where traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, ancient health systems, that encompasses the energetic body, the physical body, the elements, all of that. I'm feeling the sun right now. I'm like, damn, just warm me up, beat me up. Yes, it's so beautiful. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The spotlight's on me right now. Spotlight's on me. Okay. So I won't take it for granted. The warmth I felt like just seeping into my cold body, my cold skeletal, like my organs, my being. Like it felt like, when you have something minty, like I don't know, like it's like a cold ice, like, like hot ice. I don't know how to explain it, but like just feeling that contrast of like I'm really warm outside here from, like when the sun is on you, you feel that warmth, on your skin. So I felt the warmth from the steam. But I do want to say, like, I started sweating. It was the most beautiful sweat. It was not exhausting. I thought I would have been so tired after this because honestly, we could have been there all day. Okay. And I'm like, I got a baby. Anyways, so my experience with that just solidified, validated whatever I needed in these ancient practices. Of course, I am plant based, and I do have to discern a few things, but I get the principle of this health system that encompasses like both the spiritual and the physical. you know um so yes, so I felt my body actually warming up from the inside. I mean, from the outside in, because you need that, you know um and this medicine is so lost within the Western world. Like anything's going on, any transitions that you go through, you go into the womb of the grandmother. you know you sit with the earth. You like whenever you felt, oh, and when I was like, okay, you know what, I'm really comfortable here because I was sitting upright, experiencing all of that heat and everything. And then you have the cool ground to cool you down, and just how everything is just set up there, set up in there, it's just perfect for nourishment on all levels. So I felt how cold my organs are. And in traditional Chinese medicine, it talks about, how one would go through, a plethora of, symptoms and irregularities, within the womb because of the coldness that's trapped within the body, you know, and not feeding and nourishing that fire within us, and that fire within us helps us to digest. It helps us to move freely and detox, do everything that it needs to do instead of just hold this coldness in. And you know what coldness does? Like, it's yin, so it's just trapping the coldness. And when you're cold, you're like, not expansive and open and trusting and, willing to see things, into fruition, you're in your winter. So, with that experience, I realized that women who go through hot flashes during menopause, shoot, even during menstrual cycle, the menstrual cycle. Wow, it took me so long to. Okay, but you get it. Hot flashes during menopause and how women suffer with this. Like this inner fire, and this inner fire, I believe, is because our bodies are so cold from the inside. Our organs, our womb, you know, is so cold that our bodies are just like, ah, finally, let's heat this up. And usually it does that even with, you know, fevers when we have the cold. That's our body literally when we have the cold. Like our bodies are trying to warm up, get back into harmony, you know? And there is no coincidence that they also called it a cold, you know? Um and again, fever to put our bodies back into homeostasis. And going through these deep detoxes that I go through, and it's funny that I go through these deep detoxes as a breastfeeding mother of 6 years and three boys, um, three sons, you know, um, I've been doing it very gentle. So whoever wants to work with me one-on-one session, I need to know that you're serious. Cop, get my purchase my Spirit of Enema. You will also get a one-on-one session with me. Also, just getting the information within that ebook, like, will help you to understand so much more about your body and what it's going through, through these gentle detoxes, but make very big impacts energetically, physically, emotionally, all of it, body, mind, and spirit, soul, all of it. Okay. And it's very gentle, it's ancestral. This is not coming from a medical standpoint, but it will give you a little, biology and all of that, just understanding the body and how it works, from a ancestral lens, a gentle lens, of cleansing and understanding. And the more one, like, cleanses, I know people are like, oh my gosh, am I going to cleanse my whole life? It's just like, we've been doing this for decades. It's habitual in us to go back, and just having a system to go to is so important. Instead of just doing this blindly, you have guidance. It is me. I am here. Okay. And this is deep root womb work. Men also have this work. All right. So if you are a man, you will be going to my partner, Ziggy, and if you are a woman, me. And if you are a partner, you can work with the both of us, But yes, menopause, hot flashes, even during menstrual cycle, that is our body trying to go into homeostasis. Oh yes, I was talking about the deep, gentle detox that I, perform every day, show my devotion to my body, my spirit every day, Um, it has shown me the mucus that comes out of me. I've touched it. I've experimented. I've been my own scientist, my own doctor. I have touched it and I felt how freezing it is. And that's in us, covering our organs, covering our, just insulating our bodies from feeling, from feeling trust, openness, like literally being cold-hearted. That is not just a metaphor, a saying, or whatever. That is true within all the truths. Being cold-hearted. We're cold from the inside out. There is so much to say about that, but I wanted to share my experience and where I'm coming from with these ebooks that I'm sharing with you. Yes, so with the Spirit of Enema book, you also get all these other, books as well. And what's so important about, infertility and the coldness within our bodies, our womb, our creative space, our portal, like, we get to warm up our wombs. We get to reclaim these ancestral tools. It is ours to use. Like, our ancestors gave this to us, this knowledge, this wisdom. It is not lost. It is right there. So I got you. All right, so you can also purchase my Yoni Steam for Beginner guide. It is in the link below, in the description below. All right, and I also have affiliate links to help you with your devotion towards your healing journey, your body, spirit, mind, soul. All of it is included in this. Okay, so we're going forward. All right, we're not being held back by our limited knowledge that we've been consuming with, you know, like a system that does not prioritize the womb. Okay, so in the description below, you want to work with me, get the Spirit of Enema book. It also includes the other ebook to dive in deeper. And for guidance, we do have one-on-one sessions. Yes, so I come on here to say this, that menopause symptoms are signs of neglect of the womb. For decades that we have been neglecting it. And, no longer bleeding is still not a sign to neglect the womb. So, this trapped inner fire within us is our life force. We are literally not able to have that energy to create a new life, to create a new world, new visions. You know, we simply do not have that inner fire. I mean, we do, but it's trapped, and it finally comes out during menopause with the hot flashes. And, you know, I'm literally calling you guys to reconnect to the womb,